Oh my goodness. Where is that ad playing? Oh my goodness. All right. What a way to start the stream. As soon as I click over, ad starts playing on Bulbapedia, and it's super loud, but hello everybody. Thank you for coming to the stream. My name is Zero, and we're going to be drawing some Pokemon today, as we usually do. I hope everyone's been having a good day so far. I hope the mic's on. Yes, it is. But as always, when we do our Pokemon family draws, I'm going to start with reading the Bulbapedia entry. Mr. Raccoon says not just some Pokemon, the best Pokemon. Yes, Mr. Raccoon, I know how much you like them raccoons. Let's start with the biology, shall we? Zigzagoon is a raccoon-like quadruped Pokemon with bristly zigzag patterned fur. It has stripes formed by alternating layers of cream and brown fur. It has a brown head with spiky ears and a black nose. A black mask pattern surrounds its brown eyes. The upper half of its mouth is jagged, and when it is open, there are two pointed teeth on its lower jaw. Oh, that's cute. Mr. Raccoon likes squirrels too. I love squirrels. They are my favorite animal, next to which is rats, and then raccoons. Yeah, that's right, raccoons are way up there. Zigzagoon is less of a raccoon and more of a tanuki, but it's pretty cute. I'm not a fan of its fur pattern. It's difficult to draw, but we'll see what happens today. Its feet have 3 claws and pink paw pads. Its forefeet are cream colored, but the hind feet are brown. Its bush tail is spiky and bristly. Zigzagoon is abundantly curious as it wanders restlessly back and forth while rubbing its nose to the ground in search of something. It rubs its bristly back hair against trees to mark its territory, and plays dead to fool opponents in battle. Zigzagoon is found commonly in grassy fields. A lot of these Pokemon from Hoenn are found in grassy fields, it seems. Let's see. Even though the biology usually covers most of what the Pokedex entries say, I do like to give them a gander just really quick, just to make sure I don't miss anything. So yes, it restlessly wanders. It's very curious, interested in anything it sees. Hair on its back is bristly. It rubs its back against trees to leave territorial markings. Okay, I hope those are like scent markings, because if its back fur is like tough as nails enough to actually leave physical markings on trees, I'm concerned. I am not petting that raccoon if that's the case. Rubbing its nose against the ground, it always wanders around back and forth in search of something. It is distinguished by the zigzag footprints it leaves. Pokemon with abundant curiosity. It shows an interest in everything, so it always zigs and zags. Walks in a zigzag fashion. Good at finding items on the ground. See, it didn't mention that in the biology. It walks in zigzag fashion, good at finding items, abundantly curious. And for some reason there's no sun and moon entry for Zigzagoon. I assume they are found, you can at least trade them over, right? Let's see. I want to take a look at the back of a Zigzagoon. Okay, it looks like its tail literally just ends in a flat point. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I might take a picture of that. I really, really like Zigzagoon's shiny. It's like a Thai iced tea, Thai milk tea color. It's leaves, small Z's everywhere. Oh, what? So Zigzagoon looks about what I would assume it would look, but when I look at Linoon, I'm not, like, when I'm looking at this anime appearance of it, its neck is way longer than I had anticipated. Let's take a look at its biology. Linoon is a slender-bodied quadruped Pokemon. Most of its fur is white, but it has several brown stripes. One long stripe stretches the length of its body before ending in an arrowhead shape on its forehead. It's the Avatar. It's the same color as a Sky Bison too, I believe. There are additional stripes on each side of its bushy tail, on its cheeks. It has sharp, elongated claws and small pointed teeth. It has small tuft-like ears, long cheek fur, and blue eyes. Linoon can run up to 60 miles per hour. Oh my goodness, but has to stop before it can make a turn. It often fails to catch prey due to only being able to run in a straight line. When it sees prey underwater in ponds, it leaps in and uses its sharp claws to catch the prey. As shown in the anime, Linoon has an attraction to anything round and will grab any orb-shaped object it sees if given the chance. It often carries a snatched object in its expandable cheek pouches and it deposits it in any of the number of secret stashes to keep it. So it's like, it looks like a badger. It runs like a cheetah. It has cheek pouches like a hamster. It likes round things like a quagsire. It steals objects and stashes them like a ferret. This thing is just a conglomerate. And of course, they live in grasslands. You have to know that. That's very important. Straightened his act. They're good at finding things. They're just like us Hufflepuffs. They're good at finding things. Capable, blah, 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 spots dwelling in water, charges prey, running in straight line. It can, so it goes from a Pokemon that only moves in zigzags to a Pokemon that can only go straight. Very interesting. I really like these black and white sprites. Oh my goodness, it like put his feet up. Okay. Even these front ones are cute. They're like a different perspective. What is Linoon's species? The rushing Pokemon. And Zigzagoon is what? Tiny raccoon. It's called the Ziguma. That's a funny name. Alright, well. I got some useful information and I grabbed myself some screenshots. And we're going to open those up with preview. That way I'll have all of them easily accessible right there. And let's open up Photoshop. Open recent. Let's open up the last family that we did. 'Cause I do that crazy thing where I just take an old thing that's the exact size that I want, and I just delete the stuff. Which is a very dangerous move if you accidentally save over your work. There's our previous family, the Mighty-enas. So let's delete that, do a save right away so I don't forget. There we go. Mr. Raccoon says Linoon. Oh wait, Zigzagoon is like a rookie detective. Linoon is a veteran because he goes straight to the point. That is a good way to say it, except that we already have detective Pokemon that are also the regional first route critters. And that's the Yungoos. You got your Yangoose and your Pompamoose. Wait, no, that's not right. Okay, let's give this a draw. But yeah, I've really wanted an actual raccoon Pokemon for a while. Zigzagoon is a great proxy, but it's definitely more of a Tanuki. And Tanuki are closer related to dogs than they are to raccoons. Raccoons are more in line with the bear family. And they have these funky little hands, which makes them able to do things. They don't actually have thumbs, though, I don't think. What? Is that a Charizard? Catch Charizard. Hee yeah. Grab me a Charizard. And it's not like the Japanese don't know what raccoons are, because they actually have an infestation over there. Raccoons are quite not a big favorite among a lot of Americans because they do rummage through your trash and stuff, but they are really despised among the Japanese. Whereas the Japanese kind of enjoy like Tanuki imagery in their cartoons and folklore and stuff, and they got this kind of mischievous trickster spirit vibe, but they're not like evil or anything. Raccoons, on the other hand, I don't know if they're like have made their way into their mythos, but they've really caused problems for like ancient shrines and locations like that, because they're not meant to be in those areas. They were imported after a Japanese cartoon starring a cute little raccoon made the Japanese really want raccoons as pets, so they imported a bunch of them. But raccoons are not pets. They are not what's it called? Domesticated? Yeah, you can maybe tame a raccoon. There are people out there with raccoons as quote unquote pets because they like rescued them and the raccoon couldn't return to nature. But as a species, they are not a domesticated species, and they cause a lot of trouble. And so what do you do when you import an animal and it causes a lot of trouble? Well, you set it free. And now Japan has a raccoon problem. So it's possible that we haven't gotten a raccoon Pokemon for something of that reason. I feel like if we were going to, it would have been for Generation 5. Because I think of them as a very much of a American species. I don't know if they originated from America, or even if we have the largest population of them or anything. I just associate them with the Americas. Sort of like how I associate badgers with England. And I'm talking about like the European badger. I know we have badgers too, but I don't. That's not the badger that I think of when I think of badger. I grew up with the Redwall books. Let's put it that way. I grew up with Crega Rose Eyes and Constance the Badger Mum. And they have a different mask pattern, face pattern on their fur from the American badgers, which I can't even figure out how the American badgers look. Howdy, gamer. Oh, hey, Midna. The meme lord himself shows up, and that actually reminds me, I didn't... I was gonna post a link to the stream on Tails' server so that she wouldn't have to. I forgot. Let me go promo it right now. Getting down to Stream Town tonight with some Zigzagoon art. Let's just leave it at that. And but yeah, thanks for coming to the stream, Midna. Howdy, howdy, howdy. This is a bit of a different pace than you're used to, I'm sure, on Tails' streams. We ain't playing games today. We ain't playing games today, pal. But I appreciate you hopping in. Who knows, I might start playing games on these streams too once I get a new computer. I've been saving up for a new computer, and I was gonna get a PC, Windows of some sort, to make gaming easier, but then I realized that didn't make much sense because I mostly do art streams. So I'm getting another Mac, which is gonna make streaming games still difficult, but with a actual desktop, I should hopefully be able to do better streaming with than my laptop does. And I might be able to move back to Twitch. We shall have to see. I do like YouTube, don't get me wrong. YouTube is a great platform, but it's not really a community that I'm used to. When I think of YouTube, I think more of like those, you know, those big name YouTube channels nowadays. It's not really what I think of when I think of these kind of small art streams that I do. And, there are other complications too, but so far YouTube has been working fine. I haven't had any crashes or a lot of lag, so I do appreciate that. But I started on Twitch, so it's kind of like I have some nostalgia for it, even though I only started streaming like not too long ago. So as always with these Pokemon families, I'm just starting with a vanilla draw of the Pokemon, usually in the pose that they come in from the official art, just so I can familiarize myself with its anatomy. Minna says, I enjoy watching art as well. Hurrah! That's good, because that's all you're gonna get tonight. But yeah, speaking of badgers, is Linoon supposed to be a badger? Because it's got the badger claws, it's got the badger paws, it's got the stripes. I always have enjoyed Pokemon that evolve from one species to another species. I'm thinking like Remoraid into Octillery, though that one's a little much. It's like there's too much of a variance between those two. So it's not one of my favorite, but I'm trying to think of another one. That one popped into my head because it's the most iconic. But let's say like a like Seagull, Wingull. That's what it's called. Wingull evolves into Pelipper, so it goes from like a seagull into a pelican, which is close enough because they're both birds, but it's also like, what? Who would have thunk? There are other examples too, but I'm drawing a blank. Yeah. But I was kind of associated Zigzagoon's line with that sort of dealio. Because it goes from a tanuki raccoonish creature to more of a ferret or badger-like creature. And yet it still fits. Okay, so that's the pokes. Now I gotta think of a concept for them. I think before I do that, though, I'm gonna draw a couple more Zigzagoons, because with creatures like Zigzagoon, I have a trouble visualizing its anatomy, because it's basically just how do you call it? It's like disjumbled. That's not a word, but it's what I feel when I look at it. It's got those zigzag fur patterns that kind of make me just pay attention to its zigzagginess and not whatever the body is underneath. Zigzagoon has these little fangs. It's got these dead eyes. What is this? Shelgon. Yeah. So I think the body might look something like that underneath all that fur. And then you draw the fur on top. And then again, I get confused because it's like, how many fur stripes is there? So let's see, there is a head, a light fur under, one in the middle, and then another light fur. So it's really only 2. It's got 2 stripes. Midna, I am not entirely certain if I've asked this of you, but do you draw as well? Midna's a friend I've met over at on Tails Imp's streams. So it comes to my attention that you may not be in the art community, which is totally awesome. That you don't have to be an artiste to watch an art stream, but I was just wondering, have you ever dabbled in the creative arts? Horrible at art, however, I'd love to learn. Well, you're in luck, Midna, because art is a skill. And like any skill, nobody is born knowing how to do it. Some are born with a little more sense than others in that they can see things more like an artist does. But that only gets you so far. And anyone can learn to see like an artist. And of course, if it's something you're passionate about, whether it be violin, video games, or drawing, it is a learnable skill. I bought the tablet shown on your stream to try and motivate me, but it's very good at collecting dust. Oh my goodness. It's a $700 paperweight. Yeah, I have stuff that I've bought, mostly paints, that are just good at collecting dust. Don't use them very much. I need to stop the noodling. I'm gonna go from zero pre-oodles to zero always noodles. Let's see. I wanna do one doing a handstand, maybe. Zigzagoon's eyes are a little unfocused. And I've got my Zigzagoon plush over here keeping me company tonight. Something like that. Midna says, I do intend to put much more time into it over the summer. Art, music creation, programming, streaming are my summer goals. That's a lot of goals. There are a lot of things that I have interest in, but I find narrowing a focus helps you get better at specific things. It's always difficult to try and do everything well. You can do a lot of things decently. You can only ever do certain number of things well. Like sometimes I watch people on YouTube drawing watercolor, and I'm like, ooh, that's so good. I wish I could draw watercolors like that. But those people only do watercolor. That's what they do all day long. And that's how they get so good at it. I cannot expect to run outside with my $12 watercolor set and expect to get the same results in one evening. But after an evening of trying to draw, it can get a bit disheartening when you don't get the same results. Currently attending school for game programming, used to be a streamer speedrunner. I'll have a lot of free time for art and music once I buy a MIDI controller. Ooh, I got my brother a MIDI controller. He doesn't even use it. It was like $100 too. And then I tried to learn it for him so that I can show him, and I couldn't figure it out. So good luck to you, Midna. I hope you figure it out. I've seen some videos online of people playing with those MIDI controllers. They're pretty cool. I want to draw a Linoon to see if I can remember how it looks. Maybe in a bit of a this pose. So, it's come to my attention that... Ooh, Pikachu Greninja. Come to my attention that Linoon has a bit of a longer neck than I had originally thought. So... I think that's the second starter I got today just on the stream. If you don't know what I'm doing over here, over in my other comics Discord, Pokemon pop up and then you type in their name, and if you type it fast enough before someone else, you can catch it. And it's been something to keep me occupied when I work. I couldn't remember how Linoon worked. I had to look up the reference again. Some Pokemon are really, really difficult to the point where I can't remember them. Some other Pokemon are just too simple. And it's like, I know you're supposed to have something here, but how did it go again? Midna that says that sounds fun, actually. Are you talking about the catching Discord game thing? Maybe we can ask Tails to put it on her Discord. I don't know how it works between Discords, like if you get to keep the Pokemon that you had, but it's a lot of fun, yeah. And it's a great icebreaker, too. I considered putting it on my Discord, but I don't know. It seems like maybe I'm I don't know. trying to make it I don't know. Why didn't I put it on my Discord? Sometimes I have reasons for doing something or not doing something, and then later on, I'm like living those choices and I forgot what my reasons were. Kind of like when I was looking at buying a new computer. I kept looking at like Windows computers and comparing those, and eventually I just was wondering, wait, why am I looking at Windows computers again? I use a Mac. I'm used to Mac. Why did I decide I needed a Windows computer? And I couldn't for the life of me think of a reason. I think my friend finally reminded me that it was to like stream games or something, and I was like, that's a silly reason. I should be getting it for what I normally do. If I do end up streaming games, that's a side project. So I think the problem with this one up here is the cheek fuzz is too short. I want to bring that down. I think I understand its anatomy now. I need to think of something for them to do. You could boot camp Windows. Can you know? Oh, with a desktop computer I might be able to. I could never do that on my laptop because it barely runs Mac stuff. Oh, my laptop is a soft boy, if anything. I'm going to start with the most simple pose, and that's just take two things and stack them. So, here's one thing. Here's the other thing. Though it's funny, because after Mr. Raccoon mentioned it, I can't stop thinking of Zigzagoon's ears as little pigtails. It's really cute. I think Linoon's head needs to be up here. Hello, Bronze Leaf. Hello, hello. Good to see you again. You don't know how happy it makes me that your name is Bronze Leaf and your little icon is a little leaf. That is indeed, if I had to assign it a color, could in fact be bronze. I would say bronze is a little darker of a brown, but hey, who's complaining? I hope you have a good evening, and thanks for joining our stream. We're just drawing some zigs. I think with the neck that long, the arms ought to follow. It's kind of old. I should probably remake it. Oh, did you make it yourself? It's really cute. It's perfectly readable at that size, and I like the color. Honestly, like it's not a color I would immediately call bronze, but it's yellow instead of like green, which is, you know, closer in relation to bronze than anything. So I like it. I personally really like how it looks, but if you think you can do better, which, you know, whenever I look at my old stuff, I'm always like, I could do better. We are, after all, our worst critics. And don't let me stop ye. That's a nice Wobblegoon. Oh, Wabagoon. Yeah, I'm just kind of noodling a bit, trying to figure out a fun pose. This is just a generic one that I wanted to start with. The problem right now I'm having is that Zigzagoon is... It's very, its line is very, motion-based. Zigzagoon likes to zigzag, and Linoon likes to go straight. And I'm trying to think if there's a way to depict that in a single image. Otherwise, you know, also, what if I just tried out the idea... I know I said earlier that Yangoose and Gumshoes are already private eye Pokemon, but what if we... As Mr. Raccoon said earlier, what if, Linoon was like a veteran detective? And Zigzagoon is like a rookie because he keeps going in circles. Not really sure what... what detectives wear, honestly. He's got a little notebook here, maybe. Give him a magnifying glass and, what's it called? It's deer something. The kind of pattern that you always see on, like, Sherlock Holmes. That's a nice bird. It does look like a bird, doesn't it? I made it a few years ago, says Bronze Leaf, after my first tablet broke. The leaf is actually the Animal Crossing leaf I just recolored. Oh, that's why it feels so familiar. Deer Hunter, that's probably it. Yeah, the shape of that leaf is nostalgic to me. Maybe that's where it's from. Let's see now. Sorry, the reason I'm not drawing anything is because I'm trying to previs it. So there's this thing in art called previs, where you have to, like, have an image of the thing that you want to draw in your head before you can put it out on paper. And I, like, basically don't have anything in my head right now, so I'm having trouble figuring out what to put down on the canvas. But since I'm doing a stream, let me just previs outside of my head and just kind of, so you can see what's going on as I as I go through my thought process. What if he's kind of up on his haunches? Maybe this arm is coming up like this, and he's going like, what in the devil? Lightnin's a little long. He's a little long to fit into my canvas right now, but... And what if I kept Zigzagoon as just a ball? Instead of making him long, I'm gonna make him round. I kind of like the Zigzagoon that I drew. I kind of dig it. What I'm not digging is this Linoon, which I think could be done better. So I'm going to select him, hide him, and let's see. See Zigzagoon's fur like it's a pine cone. Oh, he is kind of like a pine cone. Can you just imagine a bunch of Zigzagoons sleeping up in the trees? And then you shake the trees and they all tumble out like pine cones? I kind of want his mouth open so I can show those little fangs. It's kind of cute. Not feeling that one either. Let's see. Zigzagoon is a lousy driver. Oh man, just constantly switching lanes. Maybe something like that? No. Nah, not feeling it. Not feeling it. Let's see. Maybe the first pose, but just done better. It's kind of like, man, chill out. So the problem with this Pokemon is he's so long that no matter where I put him, his tail goes off the page. And I don't like it. Which is why I kind of tried to make him face the other way, but I might have to just make Zigzagoon smaller. I don't want to make old Ziggy smaller, though. I like Ziggs. Zigzagoon. What if I flipped him? Let's see what happens if I do that. But then you just can't see it, period, because it's hidden behind him. What about... Hello, Kelly. Kelly Almazo. Howdy. Are you doing something illegal? I am not. I swear. Tailsim crashes through the wall. I'm late, but ready for these good boys. I'm so glad you're ready for the good boys. Zigzagoon needs some driving lessons, lol. Yes. It's going all over the place. Raccoon says I could see Linoon walking while Zigzagoon is going everywhere while shopping. What kind of shopper are you? Are you the kind that wants to hop into every single store and see all the things and just can't stop, or do you go straight to what you want? You only go out to the store if you know that you want something. You have a list. You go straight to exactly where you want to go. When I go shopping, I always, unless I'm there for like I'm gonna buy groceries for the whole week, which I very rarely do, I always grab myself a basket or just nothing at all. Because my philosophy is, if I can't hold it, I can't afford it. And that saved me a couple of times from just unnecessarily buying chips. Oh man, those Lay's chips always get me. Whenever they come out with a new flavor. You know, the do us a flavor ones, where they're like, yeah, we're gonna test out these new flavors and you get to vote for one. They haven't really done that in a while though, if I'm recalling. They've done other things like the international chips. What in the world? I love your post to my Discord. I just worry about where you find that stuff every day. Minna is the meme king. I don't know where he finds them, but every day is a good day because there's always something to look at on Tails' server. Minna, you must have a Tumblr or something that people can follow. I don't know. I started something and I didn't like it immediately. I don't know if Linoon's tail is that long though, actually. I'm wondering now, maybe it's more like a short, fluffy tail. Can't wait to see your stuff this summer, Tail says. Yes, I second that. You should post it in the creatives. I forget what the channel's called. The creative corner. Mm-hmm. Spoo corner. What's a midna? Oh, that's just our friend over there. Anything I touch turns to garbage. Oh, don't be like that. Ah, oh, I'm very frustrated. I might have to get rid of this good boy. I might not be able to do him. He's not working very well. Or you know where I can put him though. And here's just the thought. So I can put him on Linoon's belly? No, I don't think he's that big. Because Linoon is a very long boy. He's also very flat. It's not the face I wanted. Oh, so you are a new face. Hello, Kelly. I wasn't sure if I just wasn't recognizing you or if you were new. But hey, welcome to the stream. It's so good to have you here. And I hope you enjoy your stay. I hope you enjoy watching me just just oodling and noodling. Trying to figure things out. I think 80% of my drawing technique is just noodling until I figure something out. And of course, I'm not liking it. I'm not enjoying that pose. Linoon is too long to sit next to Zig, but he's too short to be a platform. You know what I want to do? I think I've thought of something I want to do. Is if I change his pose slightly, as much as I like what's going on here, I think it needs to change right about here. Maybe this part needs to go too. And I have this copied, so if I wanted to go back, I still have it. Let's squish these two boys together. Let's let them get cozy. That's just sketching in excuse me, Tails. Lightning towering over. And Kelly says they're enjoying it so far. Excellent. Yes. Thank you, Tails. Thank you for correcting. Though, of course, I read it just fine. In fact, oftentimes I will read words that are spelled wrong as the words that they were supposed to be spelled as, because I also cannot spell. So I guess my mind just autocorrects to whatever the meaning is. It's like that post that that showed what was it, like a sentence that was completely jumbled. All the words were completely jumbled except for the first and the last letters, and most people can read those just fine. It's something about the way our brain reads. We mostly don't like look at every single letter when we're reading. We kind of just get the general sense. My parents' English aren't the best. And so when they mispronounce things or they say something wrong, my siblings give them a really hard time about it. They're like, what? What are you saying? What is that supposed to mean? It's like you can use context clues. You know what they're saying. You don't have to, like, you can let them know how the right way to say it is. I'm gonna see if this works. Oops. I need to make another layer, otherwise it doesn't can't see properly. So thankful for Discord's editing feature. Yes, it is really important for anything that I type on to be allowed to be edited. Otherwise, oh man. I remember the first time I got an interview on Discord. It was from the Nuz servers. They wanted an interview from me for some reason to post on their site. I can't even remember who it was who interviewed me. But I was so excited that I was just like typing a million miles per hour. And then after the interview ended, I like came out of my haze and like actually read through what I wrote, and it was atrocious. I felt so embarrassed. I was like, I'm not an idiot, I swear. But sometimes, I don't know, I just, you think you're saying something smart, and then you go back and you're like, oh, oop, I duh. I always tell people, like, I prefer text because I can look at what I'm saying before I post. I can, like, you know, put my thoughts together and you know, formulate my opinions before I send them off. But oftentimes it seems like the opposite happens. I'm still just as impulsive and, like, thoughtless. It's just now whatever I say is there forever, and anyone could go back into the records and experience my idiocy for all time. Whereas if I was just in a room talking, I could be just a total idiot. But at least then it's done and past, and I can move on with my life. Oh no, English is hard. It is. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. English is a Frankenstein hell language. Uh, did they correct it when they posted it? I think I went back and like corrected some of it myself, and then I asked them if like they could please use that version. I'm not sure if they did much editing, honestly. I think they fixed a little stuff. Um, it's probably still up on the servers. I'm not sure where it went. Uh, but yeah, it was oof. There are a couple of moments in my life that I've been like doing stuff as if I was doing it like a boss, and then when I step aside and like actually like see what I've been working on, it's a horrible embarrassment. One that like still stands out to me in my memory is this one time I was it was like some kind of talent show or something, but it wasn't pre uh oh no, it was pre-announced. It was some kind of talent show that wasn't too serious. So I had kind of practiced some tigers on my own, and I was like, "Hey, I can draw tigers." So I was like, "Hey, I can go up and do a thing." And I drew this really what I thought was a really good tiger head with all the stripes in the right place, and I was like, actually remembering how the shapes worked. And then I drew like it was live, by the way. It was like with a Sharpie marker on stage on a big piece of paper. After I drew the head, I like did a huge stroke to fill in the rest of the body, and I stepped off the stage all like proud of myself, and then I turned around and looked, and the body was so out of proportion to the head. Oh, I almost died. And I think it was even more embarrassing that everyone was like thinking it was really good, to the point where it's almost like, no, you can't be. You're probably just being nice. Most embarrassing moment. I'm enjoying this drawing, but it doesn't look good to me. It's too messy. So I think that's one possibility, but it's not one I'm going to pursue unless I can't think of another stylistic choice and own it. Yeah, it's aesthetic. Or people genuinely liked it. I mean, if they genuinely liked it, I don't believe it. I don't believe anyone could have genuinely liked it. They may have pity clapped or like, acted impressed. You ever like, a kid shows you their drawing and you're like, it's not good, but you act super excited for them because they drew it. They put so much effort into it. It's not that you're like pretending that it's good, but you're genuinely happy that they like made something and that they're proud of it. The fact that they're proud of it makes you proud of them for being proud of it. But it's not good. I think that's what was happening. It was like nobody wanted to say that it was bad, but it looked really bad. Tigers are just hard to draw, though. And I think the head probably still looked good. I can't remember how that part came out. I keep noodling this one because I kind of like it, but I'm gonna do something else. Zero said, I like Pokemon feeling is special. Let me think. I'm not feeling it. Lightning is too long. What if I did him around? Long boys can be round boys sometimes. Let's just start with shapes. And, Zigzagoon can be right here. Maybe it's like from the top. Thank goodness for Photoshop capabilities of just dragging stuff around. This probably isn't a angle that you see these boys in very often, which could be worth doing. For these Pokemon families, I can't always think of a funny, like, concept, but if I can somehow draw them in, like, a way that people don't often think of them as, then that could work. Kind of like when I did, the Vulpix family was more a concept thing, because I read in the Pokedex that its tail starts out as one single white tail, and then, it splits and turns orange as it grows. So that was a concept that was cool. But then other times, it's just that Pokemon. Like when I did Piloswine, other than it, like, screaming its head off, it's not really a cool concept or, like, makes you think, but I drew it with its fur popping up, so you get to see its eyes, which you don't usually see. And I think that's my favorite part of when I drew the Piloswine, was being able to see those eyes. So maybe just drawing them from the top could be a good option. It would definitely show off Leinun's, like, arrowhead. But I don't know if there's enough there. Let's see. Could be impressed that a kid your age at the time did it. Yeah, except I wasn't, like, that young, so... if I was really young, I would have been impressed too, but I was old enough that I could form formative memories. I was probably, like, middle school or high school at that time. Probably middle school. I don't remember going on any big trips in high school. Welcome back, Midna. Long round boys are valid. Yes. Welcome back to the long round boys. This long boy just realized he'd be stuck in Canada if he didn't buy a plane ticket back. Who, you? Are you stuck in Canada right now? I thought about moving to Canada. Did you know that Canada had a Pixar studio? Or was it a Disney studio? It was either Pixar or Disney. They had a studio, like a sister studio or an offshoot up in Canada. And I don't know what happened to it. I heard maybe it closed. But yeah, I sent in my stuff. Back in my youth when I had hopes and dreams. Before I became cynical and too jaded to work for anyone. Midna attends school in Canada, coming home over the summer. So my mom was gonna fly up and help me pack, store my stuff, then leave. And never thought about how I was gonna get home. Oh boy. Yeah, kinda need those plane tickets. Are you buying tickets for both you and your mom? I've been to a couple of conventions that required me to fly. I think only one of them I had to buy my own tickets. The other one I just kind of had my friends take care of all the logistics. Let's see. That one where my friend was helping out, that was DashCon. So Tumblr had a convention at one point. I think they had like 2, maybe 3, but I lost track after a while. I didn't really pay too much attention to how it went, but when they had their first one, I decided to go to that one, and that required me to buy a plane ticket because it was out in Chicago. That was fun, but I didn't have to actually figure anything out because my friends took care of all that. The other one I went to was in Texas, and that one I bought the ticket myself. And I think that was the first time. I've flown quite a lot of times. As my extended family all lives in China, so quite a few times in my youth I've had to ride a plane, but my parents took care of all that because of course I can't read Chinese. But by flying by myself, I kind of realized I really like airports. There's something really calming about an airport environment. It's like this world between worlds where you're not expected to do anything except wait. And, you know, like, all your cares just disappear because, you know, who cares? You're waiting to fly. Just do whatever. I brought my Switch on my last flight and played, I think it was Stardew Valley. The whole plane ride. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's just so nice. It's like, I don't know if anyone else gets those feelings. An airport is almost the exact same everywhere I've gone as well. No matter what state or country I've been in, the airports all look, smell, and sound the same. It's almost like a different world. It's a liminal space, but still, they stress me out. Aw, Tails, I'm sorry. Feel that way on elevators, too. Are you claustrophobic? Elevators kind of freak me out when I have to share them with people. If I go on an elevator and someone else gets on after me, I start to freak out. I do not like being in that, like, limbo of time when you're in someone else's company and yet you're not expected to speak, and yet it's like this awkwardness anyways, even though everyone there is like perfectly fine with not talking to anyone else. It's like I should say something. They did a experiment one time, like a social experiment, where you get on an elevator and then you don't turn around. So like you walk in and then you just stand there facing the back of the elevator. I'm gonna be flying in at the airport all day tomorrow. Whoa! Wait, I thought you said you were going back on in the summer. Are you going back for like spring break? Leave at 6:30, get there 4:30. Oof. Tail says thoughts and prayers, Midna. Yes. Godspeed and all that, and I hope you make it safely. Why are we always praying for your safety, Midna? Why? I'm going to stop noodling and actually draw something. Let's crack open our hard edge round boy. Give us a black brush and just zoom in and start rendering. It's all good. I got me trusty Game Boy. I'm home on break right now. School for another month and week. You know, Zero makes a good point, Midna. Please take care of yourself. I need my memes, Midna. You gotta come back. Come back to us. It's funny because sometimes I'm at work and our workplace has only one rule, and that's no video or audio. So I'll sometimes crack open Discord and like see Midna posted something funny, and I'm just like, oh, what is it now? But I can't watch it until I get home. This is gonna be difficult. There's a reason snakes are on the list of animals that I have a lot of trouble drawing, and that's because they're really long. And Lightnoon is borderline snake long. It's got enough fur that it like breaks up the body, but even the fur is long. So I'm gonna have to make sure that I don't get lost in the individual strokes and that I keep the rest of the body in mind. Sometimes I get in too close and I just pay attention to making a line look good, and then I back up and I realize, oh, that line is not going in the right direction. In fact, I think Windows computers with Photoshop will allow you to have the same window open, the same Photoshop document open, but in a smaller size. On the Mac, I have kind of something like that, but it doesn't you can't draw on it. It's just a display. If anyone has ever seen a Chew stream Bobby Chew, schoolism.com, he does that a lot, where he'll have a small version of what he's working on the side, and sometimes he'll just like start drawing on that thing instead of the big one, and it's the same drawing, it's just displaying separately, and I have no idea how that works. But having something smaller so that you can step back and take a look at it is usually good. Sometimes I'm working on something and I just stop and lean back in my chair. And that's the best I can do. But it helps. It helps. Glad y'all enjoy the memes, though. Yes, I don't always comment, but I appreciate every single one of them. Okay. But it's a different experience for everyone traveling. There's some YouTubers that make like travel vlogs, and I could never just talk to a camera or like myself um at an airport waiting room. I would feel so self-conscious. Even just out in normal public, it's like oh man, the nerves. But when you're in a space like a airport situation where everyone's just quiet and like cramped together, it's kind of I just saw a video from Draw with Jazza, and he did a vlog out in a library, and I was like, man, that takes balls. Especially in a library when it's like really quiet. I'm probably the type to find it annoying if someone started talking to themselves or like making a video in a supposedly quiet space. I'm the one like giving them dirty looks, but I'm not enough of one of those to like actually say anything. You had to take a tram to each terminal. Wait. Hashtag perfect. Tails, you've made it a cultural like I don't know how to call it, but like if there was a language that only people in your Discord spoke, it's like we've created one where we know exactly what you we can visualize your meaning. Oops, why am I coloring it in black? Shoot. I should leave it open so I can color it in brown. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but some words can generate pictures without any effort. Scariest airport I've ever been to was the Houston, Texas one. Yeah, I think most airports, depending on which flights you take, would require you to take a tram. To most places. There are definitely some. A lot of them, the ones that I've been to, didn't necessarily need a tram. So I guess you're right. It doesn't. It's not all of them are like that. But my biggest fear is if I'm gonna miss my flight, like being late to a flight. But I always get there like an hour or two early, so it's that waiting period that I enjoy. It's the Avatar. Avatar, let's see. Everything is bigger in Texas. That was too big. Never been to another one that big before or ever since. When I went to Texas, I don't remember what part of Texas I went to. I think it was Austin. So I guess I didn't have to deal with that trauma. I need to make sure these fur spikes are long enough to merit being there, otherwise I might as well just not have them. Okay. Gonna probably have to put in Ziggy. Because he's going over top of Linoon's body. I'm just gonna put Linoon's arm in because that part can probably cover. Actually, I don't know. I'll leave it there. But now to draw these spike ball ears. 1, 2, 3. I'm wondering what I'm gonna name my new Mac computer. My first MacBook, I named Old Mac, as in Old MacDonald. And my current one, I named Little Mac. I guess after Little Mac from Smash Brothers, though I'm not sure if I was aware of that character back then. It was more just because it was smaller than my other Mac, and I thought it was fun. I could name the new one Big Mac, though I might get hungry every time I try to use it. I have, Photoshop CS5, I believe, which should allow you to install it on 2 different computers. However, the first install was on Old Mac, and Old MacDonald died. Can't connect to the internet, can barely turn on, I believe. I haven't tried in a long time, so I don't remember what exactly happened to it, but it's kaput. I don't know how if I'm able to get the license off. I'm gonna call Adobe and see if they want to help me out at all. Because it would be nice to have Photoshop on both that, a new MacBook, as well as keeping it on this this laptop. If not, I'm contemplating whether or not I want to switch over to Clip Studio. I think it's called Clip Studio Paint. I bought a license for that a long time ago, back when it had a jumbo sale. I think the price was also lower in general, because I remember paying like 15 bucks for it. I don't know if I'm just remembering the number incorrectly, if they had like a mega discount, or if the price was just lower back then, but it was a long time ago. And I've been holding on to that license, haven't installed it anywhere, because it's for exactly this purpose of when I get my new computer, if I can't get Photoshop on it, I'm switching over. I'm just not feeling it with the Creative Cloud that Adobe is doing these days. Bronzeleaf says, I got a new laptop recently because my old one was about 5 years old and it had a crack on the back of it. I didn't realize how slow it ran until I got my new one. Everything is super smooth now. Now that feeling is plus tag perfect. Oh, that feels so good with new stuff. Microscopic Mac. Yeah, you get an even smaller one than my current one. Name it Ronald McDonald. No, please. I will not have any clowns in my house. Thank you very much. I don't mind clowns in general. I've been to some circuses and I've enjoyed the clowns. I like what they do, and they're kind of uncanny, but that's part of the charm, I think. Love it so much. Still need to reset my old laptop. Just zip your program, upload it to Google Drive, and re-download it. But you need a different a license in order to turn it on, you know? At least I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you do. Tails is like, Midna, that's illegal. And Zero would never do something illegal. Wink, wink, nudge. Chad is in your house and most of us are clowns, so too late. Oh no. Oh no, Midna, please. You bunch of clowns. Ronald McDonald is too long. That's like a whole name. Do you guys name your stuff? Like your cars and I name my computer and my phone because it asks me to. My phone, it being a Apple iPhone, I named it Caramel because it's a caramel apple. But I've never named my car. Not for want of trying. I've been searching for a good name for my car for a long time. I don't even have bumper stickers on it, which makes me sad. My old car was a big old blue one, and it was a blue wagon, I believe, a Ford. And I wanted to, I think I called it, like, Old Blue, because it was really old. But I put a little Pokeball on the back. And the Pokeball was red, obviously. No outlines. And it looked really good with the blue. I have a lot of nostalgia for the color of, like, red on dark blue. Because my old Game Boy Advanced SP was dark blue. And I would always have Pokemon Ruby in it, which was red. Like a crimson red, maybe. Like a darker red than fire red was. And so seeing those two colors together makes me quite nostalgic. So I really liked what I had going there. My current car is black. It's a black hatchback. A Nissan Versa Note. I think it's like a year 15 or something. And I have some ideas of what bumper stickers I want, but I would have to, like, actually go out of my way and make them myself, I think. The Pokeball that I got for my other car was like a serendipitous moment. I was walking around an artist alley and someone was selling bumper stickers of, like, Hogwarts houses and Pokeballs and a bunch of stuff like that. So I just grabbed one. I didn't have to, like, you know, think too hard. It came to me. But I haven't been to many conventions lately. Like a ruby red, yes. Yes, thank you, Tails. It was ruby red. You know, sometimes colors are not what I think they are. Gold, for instance, is a much duller brown than I always think it is. I don't know what Pokemon Gold's cartridge looks like because I've never played it. And I think the Heart Gold, Soul Silver are probably just black. But I do have a coming soon Pokemon Heart Gold version Ho-Oh poster on my wall. And the color of that poster is... Actually, it's not bad. Now that I'm looking at it. But it's still much more of a yellow than actual gold is. When you take a look at actual gold, it's like this gross, I don't know, just brown. And I don't know if it's actual gold that has that color because I've never actually seen actual gold. I'm too poor to see actual gold. But when you look up the color is what I mean. I'm sure actual gold is probably closer to yellow. I've seen gold flakes, gold dust or whatever, like on cupcakes and stuff on TV. I'm talking about like when you look up gold paint or whatever, when you're like painting your house, they hand you a card and it's like this gross brown. It's like, what is this? I wanted gold. Not this. The gold cartridges are sparkly. Ooh. Tails, which convention are you going to? Nyx named Tails' car. Nyx names all their stuff. Trooper. Because my car just keeps going despite 14 years. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's impressive. You know, things don't last as long as they used to, I feel. San Diego Comic-Con. Now that's a big one. Out here on the East Coast, we have a couple of conventions that that you hear about. The big one I think is Otakon. We also have Katsucon, which is pretty big. Most people have heard of that one. I went to one that was a little smaller called Anime USA. What else? I can't remember if we have a Comic-Con. But everyone out here dreams of going to Comic-Con. That's like the big, go west, young man. Go west, young man. Haven't you been told? California's full of whiskey. Women and gold sleeping out all night. I like country music. I'm sorry. I like weird old westerns. Anyways. You gotta fly to get out to Comic-Con, so not everyone gets to see that, but it's a big one we hear. Haven't been to San Diego Comic-Con in like 14 years. Oh my goodness, yours. Did you take the same car there when you first got it? You and the car are both gonna be like feeling nostalgic. Minna says, I haven't been to any cons, but I've been to SGDQ, if y'all know what that is. No, sorry. I tried. Stopped right before it became impossible to get tickets. That's games done quick. huh? Love to watch those even though I don't understand speedrunning at all. I've never been to any cons in my life, but it's a dream to go to one someday. Man, that feels weird. My car was made the last year I went to San Diego Comic-Con. Isn't that a doozy? I went to a few cons before I did my first tabling as like a little sort of to get the lay of the land, see what other people are doing, get a feel for what someone would feel actually attending a con. I've also been to a few artist alleys where my friend just kind of lent me their pass for the day. Not a whole day, but like long enough to go in. And man, I have such a bad time at artist alleys. Not because I'm actually having a bad time, but because my poor wallet just doesn't stand a chance. I usually go in with only $100 in my pocket of cash. And I try not to spend more than that. As a tabler, you definitely want to have the ability to receive credit card. But as a con goer, I never use my credit card. I just don't trust myself with it. I also don't trust myself to make eye contact with anyone. If I accidentally strike up a conversation, my chances of actually spending money go up by like 50%. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I need to bring this part up. I don't like it. As a Californian, I can tell you California has lots of cons. California is really big, though. Well, sometimes I think of it like, oh, you're in California. You must, like, you know, be able to see anyone else that I know from California or go to any location that I know about in California. And it's like, that's not the case. You want to go from the north end of California to the south end, that's like New York to Virginia. And that ain't no day trip. Just had major deja vu. Raccoon says, I've always wanted to go to E3, but the conferences are no longer open to the public. No way, really? Though I guess in a way it's like more open to the public than ever because it's all streamed. So we all get to experience it. Well, that's a shame. I don't actually know. Where is E3, like, physically taking place? Is that in California? I kind of assume that everything happens in California. Either California or New York. Those are the big places that I think about. I enjoy going to New York. One time I went to New York and I accidentally walked into I don't know if you would call it a convention. It was kind of a convention, but it was like a small one. They were like, it was like a vertical convention. So like you go in, there's stuff on one floor, like a gallery or whatever, and you go up another floor and there's like an artist alley, and you go up another floor and there are like people showing off gear and stuff, or like selling games and movies and stuff. It was a lot of fun, but I didn't know it was happening. I went up to New York for the day to get gelato, because I it's kind of funny. New York's like a 5-hour drive from where I live. It's not close, but there's a bus that goes up there a couple times each semester, so that the art students can visit galleries and stuff. And when they have extra room, sometimes I can grab a seat without having to pay. So occasionally I will just go up to New York for the day to get gelato. But yeah, wasn't really expecting anything and walked in. They're like, $5 please, and I went up and it was a artist alley. I was like, whoa, hello. Wasn't expecting this, but it's a delightful surprise. The person who did, what was it called? Ava's Demons, I think, was there. As well as someone I recognized later. Like, I didn't recognize them while they were there, but I grabbed their business card, and later when I was looking it up, I was like, that was this person? Can't remember. I think it was like Nargle or something. I don't know. The people who made Song of the Sea, I think it's called. Secret of Kells. Either the people who made it or like the distributors were there too, and they were selling DVDs of it. So I bought one of those. I still haven't seen it though. Secret of Kells I've seen. It's a good movie. It's not amazing, but like the art style is really nice. It's a little bit of a disappointing ending, but it's nice to look at. And there's some really good scenes. I have not seen the Song of the Sea or whatever it's called. Hello, Leonard. Leonardo Mapache. Hello, am I late? He says. No, you're not late at all. I am still going for another hour. About, I think. It's 11, so I'll be going until 12. Or until I finish this drawing. Often I go a little over time, and I want to try and get better at it. But I just want to finish things, you know? You start something, you kind of want to finish it. Gotta pick up next from their BFF Capitalism. Go get your Nyx, Tails. Go summon your Nyx. Bring her back. So we can all have fun together. Together forever. I'm sure I'll still be going when you get back. I tend to go over. You know what I find funny in some styles of animation is when a character has claws, and the claws are long, and then they're bendable. Yeah. Don't know how that works. I kind of like how it looks. I'm trying to think of an example, though. There's one that, like, really stands out in my mind, but I can't place my finger on it. I can't wrap my claw around it. I'm sure Disney's done it a couple of times. Do, 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 do. Anime conventions are an interesting thing. I don't know if I would go to any more of them if I wasn't tabling. Because what I love about anime conventions is, one, the artist alley. I do like perusing the artist alley, spending money, just, you know, checking out what other people have, what people are doing. And I also like looking at the cosplays. The cosplays are a big thing for me. I used to go to the panels a lot, but they're not always like, maybe I haven't found the right ones, but I've been to a couple that are like about drawing, and they all tend to say the same things. You go to a few, you've gone to all of them, is what I'm saying. Certainly there are some panels that are more like exciting to go to, like ones with the like actors on them, or ones with VAs that from shows that you like. I usually don't have the patience to stand in line for those. So if you take away paneling, like going to panels, there's not much else for me, like that I find fun at a convention. I'm really glad that I went to a few and gone to some panels, just to have the experience. But it's not something that I would do like every year, you know. Some people go to conventions like yearly, and I'm just like, wow. But most of those people are the cosplayers. At least the ones that I know. My friend, the friends that I have that frequent conventions tend to be cosplayers, and they're going to be part of that community. Has anyone here actually cosplayed? You'll still be noodling, I'm sure. Tails calling me out. Oh, that's brutal. Love you too, Tails. I don't think I've ever done a cosplay that I was happy with. Uh, I'm big into like mascot costumes. If I could get a costume, I'm not necessarily like a fursuit, but like a costume that's full bodied that you can like hide in. I might have fun in one of those. But as it is, any kind of face cosplay is I don't have the personality to pull it off. Because part of cosplaying is the play. You're not just putting on a costume. If someone wants like a picture of you, they want you to pose and to own the character that you're dressing up as. Maybe you don't have to like role play. It's not LARPing after all, but there's something really exciting about like running up to your favorite character and saying, "Can I get a picture?" and them like striking this anime pose at you. It's exciting. It's fun. Ice Age characters have what's that word? Betty claw like pretty claw like fingers. Ice Age. That's a big one. I don't know if that's the one I was thinking of. How to Train Your Dragon, I think, also kind of has it. If you look at Toothless's claws, I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since I watched it, but I think that was one as well. And I want to say, and this one I should know, but I'm not certain. I want to say Oogway from Kung Fu Panda might also have those kind of claws. Now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, it usually happens in 3D animation. I think... No, you're right. I am thinking of, like, Sid's claws. The way Sid's big sloth claws move. Like when the claws are permanently bedded. Don't let the claws move, right? They're supposed to be solid bone. Lenin Matache says, what character would you cosplay as? Let me think about that. Bronzeleaf, what Pokemon games do you own? I own Fire Red, Soul Silver, Sapphire, Platinum, XY, Omega Ruby, Sun, and Ultra Sun. I really want the Gen 5 games. Bronzeleaf! Gen 5 is okay. It's my maybe favorite generation. I'm not sure if I actually like the games or if I'm just nostalgic for them because I work with those characters the most. Having a Gen 5 Nuzlocke, you know, I think about the characters, I've drawn them the most. It makes me happy. I don't know about the game so much because I've only played it once. But I think it's worth a play. You have X and Y? Like, both yours, or do you have, like, a sibling that has one and you have the other? I know people who have both, so I'm just wondering. I have not played either X or Y. Let me think. I've played Pokemon Red, the original, but I've lost it, so I don't own that anymore. I still own Pokemon Blue for some reason, and I don't know where it came from, because I always get the red version of the games. So I'm not sure why I own Pokemon Blue, but I own that somewhere. I don't remember where I put it, but it's somewhere in my house. I have Pokemon... I had Pokemon Ruby. That was my favorite game of all time, and I also lost that one along with my Game Boy SD. Is that what it's called? SP? Game Boy Special. My Game Boy Advance Special and my Pokemon Ruby. Lost and gone forever. So I don't own that one either, but I've played it. Never played the second gen games, but I have read a couple of Nuzlockes, so I have a somewhat of a sense of how the story goes. What else do I have? I have Omega Ruby. Got that from my brother, I believe. For like a birthday or a Christmas. I have Pokemon Pearl, which I actually have two of. One of them got corrupted because I bought it from China, so it's like some bootleg version, I guess. So I never finished that one. And then my friend Mr. Raccoon over here got me Pokemon Pearl again, and I played most of it, but I don't think I finished it. So I own that one. I don't like how this is not furry, so I'm gonna add some fur. Omega Ruby I did finish, just because I love Hoenn. And that, I think, is the only one I consider, like, on, like... So the way I play Pokemon, okay, is I basically play once and then I keep it forever. I'm not one of those people who keeps resetting the game and playing it again and again. I need something to call home, and Omega Ruby right now is that one. So if I were to trade Pokemon, let's say, I would probably trade it to that. I plan to... Oh, you'll notice I didn't say Pokemon Black. Yeah, I don't own Pokemon Black anymore because I lost that one as well. Hooray! My track record with Pokemon games is terrible. I do own Fire Red. I also have not beaten that one. I don't remember why I didn't beat it. I just never got around to it. I do own Pokemon White, but technically it belongs to my sister. Let's color this. Kale says, I have casually cosplayed. And I'm interested to know what you've casually cosplayed as. That sounds like fun. Closet cosplays are very much valid. Let's select these areas. I'm going to color these brown. Select these. I'm going to color these parts. Tan. And I think it needs to be lighter. And I think it needs to be less saturated. Yes. Something like that. That's better. I missed a spot. And I love that you're honest. I need people who are honest with me because I am not very good at a lot of things. But I've gotten by only on the power of knowing people who have been honest and patient with me. Let's see now. Leaf Green is Midna's favorite. Currently playing through a Japanese copy of it. Is that the one you got, that shiny Bulba? The shiny potato? Midna says, can't imagine going to a con alone. Yeah, you don't usually go to those alone. You want to bring friends along. It's more fun that way anyways. Japanese or American mascot? Either. I prefer Japanese ones just because they're proportioned a little better, like those big Pikachu ones. X was my sister's, but she stopped using her 3DS, gave it to me along with... I knew there was a story behind it. Sounds fun, like the color green more than red, but I wanted Arcanine on my team, so I got Fire Red. Leonard says, White 2 is my favorite. Oh, I haven't played any of the Unova sequels. The, what's it called? Black and White 2. Really want to play them. But I'm waiting for when I finish the Nuzlocke. That's not the right color at all. Gonna make it something like that. I don't know if they're the same color, actually. Are Zigzagoon and Linoon the same color? I feel like Linoon is lighter. So I'm gonna make him lighter. I'm gonna take Linoon's color and make it darker for Zigzagoon. That's a little too dark. That's not the color at all. Just lighten it a tad bit. Maybe make it a little more yellow. A little more saturated. Just a tad more lighter. Something like that. Gonna go pack. Be right back. Bye, Midna. Packing is the most stressful thing about traveling for me. I always have that thought that I've forgotten something, and usually I have, and usually it's something I can live without, but just the feeling of, oh man, what am I forgetting? It kills me. I've had stress dreams where I'm running away from home and I spend the whole day just packing. Just trying to figure out what I need to bring in order to survive on whatever trip it is that I've decided to take in my dream. And not being able to find things, not being able to fit things in my luggage, can't find a bag to put things in. It's a big to-do. Honestly, didn't play any of the Pokemon games until a few months after X and Y released. I say let's play. I always let's play on it and adore the older ones more. I'm interested in your opinion on that, actually, because I know I personally feel like the newer games have lost something that I love about Pokemon, and I can't place my finger on it. So I've never been sure if it's like just me being an old crotch, or if, you know, is it nostalgia speaking, or are the older ones really still as good or better? The X and Y games are the closest things I would have to another blind playthrough. So for anyone who doesn't know, when I played Pokemon Black, it was a blind playthrough in that up to and after it released, I didn't know anything about the game. I kept myself completely blind, didn't know what the Pokemon were, what types they were, what types the gym leaders were, what levels the gym leaders would be, anything about the game. I just didn't look anything up. I wanted a completely blind playthrough. And if I wanted another experience like that, X and Y would be my go-to, because I don't know anything about it. Okay, like, it wouldn't be as blind as that was, because I do know quite a bit. I know what the starters look like. I know, you know, what a lot of the Pokemon look like. But as close as it would be, I know the least about X and Y. Like story, not really sure what the story is, or anything like that. I do eventually plan to play Heart Gold on these streams. Maybe like one stream a month I would play a game instead of do drawings. I think that would be fun and a good, like, you know, respite. I'm gonna put a little light down here for the reflected light. Make those eyes look a little wetter. I don't know how to make them look shiny other than to just put highlights all over the place. I'm gonna extend his mask a bit. Oops. I think his mask is too small. Oh, welcome back, Tails. Open-endedness is missing for mine the new games. For me in the new games. Open-endedness is missing for me in the new games, Tails says. And so I don't know how much I am allowed to speak to this because I have not actually played any of the new games, but I have watched my brother play Sun and Moon. Moon. He didn't play both of them. He just played Moon. And for like almost most of the game, I felt like it was still doing tutorials. It took forever for him to actually, for me at least, to feel like we were actually playing the game. I don't know if that's what you mean by open-endedness. Pokemon has always been rather linear, if I remember correctly. I have been thinking about what kind of cosplay I would like to do, and I think I would apart from my like closet jet cosplay that I have, which isn't really a closet cosplay because I did make a jacket for it. I went out and bought some fleece, I think, and sewed the little chest pattern that's like the blue darker circles on her light blue jacket. I've made a jacket for it, but everything else about it is a cosplay, a closet cosplay. I don't have the exact same pants or backpack or hat. I do eventually want to make the hat. But other than that one, I've always wanted to cosplay as a Pokemon breeder. Just to like have that apron on and walk around with a basket full of Pokemon. I feel like that would be fun. Okay. As for the background, I'm going to throw it in the background so I know where the whites are. I'm just going to put a random color. And now I can highlight the whites because it's hard to color white on white. But all of these toes need to go. First towns have such nice music. I love Little Root Town. That has probably my favorite. One of my favorite songs, though, is from the Ore region. It's Agate City, maybe? I don't remember. Agate Village, maybe? That harmonica. I kind of like that color. Though if I keep it warm, it really makes the eye stand out. That blue eye. Which I also really like. I don't know. If it was yellow, it's kind of too close. I definitely want to stay in the warmer, I think. Let that eye really pop. It's more of this color. Let's just stick with this for now. I might change it. I might change my mind. Also, Tails casually cosplayed as Amulet Heart and Amulet Diamond from Shugo Chara. Is it Shugo Chara or Shugo Kara? Like character. I like the theme song for that anime. I've seen quite a few AMVs. I think 1 or 2 Vocaloid videos based on that anime, but I've never actually seen the anime. Oops. Yeah, but I have a bunch of Pokemon plushies that I really love. And if I think if I cosplayed as a Pokemon breeder, I would carry around a basket and just fill it up with Pokemon plushies. And it'll be funny because I have like an Emboar plushie, and just imagining like a Pokemon breeder walking around with an Emboar in their basket, it seems really funny to me. Darling, kiss me, fill my heart with song, and let me sing forevermore. Shugo Kara. I cosplayed as Ryoga from Ranma 1/2 and Jake English from Homestuck. Leonard! That's awesome! I love Ranma 1/2. It's such a fun manga. I never really got into the anime. There's just something unique about the way that what's her name? Rumino Takahashi or something? The author of Inuyasha and Ranma. She does expressions very uniquely, and the animes never really capture that for me. But it's not that I prefer hers necessarily. It's like if I see hers first, I prefer them. Because I remember when I watched Inuyasha, whichever volume I read first, if I watched the corresponding anime, I would hate the way the anime portrayed it. I'm like, oh man, it's so much better in the manga. But if I didn't read the manga first and I just watched the anime of that story, and then I went and like read the manga that corresponded, that it was derived from, I would prefer the way the anime did it. And it usually is never like that for me. Usually it's one or the other all the way. But Inuyasha was always one that was give or take. It's whichever I read first specifically for that like scene or whatever. Ranma One Half I never watched much of though. Um, I read all of it in the manga. The way the humor works just works better for me in the manga. But man, I have such good memories of that. I haven't read it in a long time. I wonder how it holds up. Which is funny because I'm not into romance. The will they won't they is kind of annoying to me. But somehow I don't remember being that annoyed with Ranma doing it. Okay, I do remember being annoyed, but like they always kind of for every annoying moment they had a good amount of funny. Oh man, I never laughed so hard in my life except during that the food, oh what was it called, the food foo, where the guy like you had to eat fast or whatever and their mouths get really big. Do you remember that? Does anyone remember Ranma One Half and the French guy who like made his mouth really big? I remember dying laughing. I need to buy that volume so that I can own it and like feel joy whenever I want. Do you ever wish you had a feel joy button? Just read that volume. Didn't he turn into a vampire later? Wait, Ranma? I could believe it, honestly. Ranma's been turned into a lot of things. All I really know about Ranma is that allegedly a Q&A panel about it is why that author doesn't come to the USA anymore. Oh no! Hi Nix! Tails is driving. Oh man, you must have strong internet connection. I have some friends who have unlimited data and they just like watch videos on the move, and I'm like, if I try to do that, my family would kill me because we have a shared family plan for our data. Speaking of internet, though, I'll repeat this again at the end of the stream, but next week, starting on Sunday, I believe, our family is gonna have no Wi-Fi. We're quitting the internet so that we can re-sign up to the plan and get better internet. But in the meantime, for 4 days, I believe, Sunday through Wednesday, it's gonna be no internet. I will still have the stream. I'm going to stay at work and stream from work, which should work out because next week we're going to be doing just a casual sort of hangout kind of stream. I'm gonna try and have the footage ready by then, but I've recorded myself drawing a decent chunk of Jet's Black Nuzlocke episode, what was it, 69? As per Chico's request. I haven't seen him in the stream today, but he's one of my patrons. He asked if I could start recording and doing live, what's it called, time lapses of my progress. So I thought maybe it would be fun if I just played that during the stream and then talked over it. Just, you know, hang out with the chat, and then maybe draw some stuff afterwards. I don't have to take my Cintiq to the store. I have a graphics tablet. It's like an Intuos 3 or something like that. It's kind of an old thing. It's a little small, but it works great. Yeah, and just like kind of hang out and have some fun. I don't often get to like interact much with the chat one-to-one because I'm over here drawing and not reading. I don't know how Tails does it. If you go to Tails' stream, she's playing her game and reading the chat at the same time, and I'm just like, wow. I remember when I tried to stream Undertale, it was a good thing no one showed up to those streams, really, because I was not able to read or interact with the chat. LOL, page 69. Yeah, what a one to do it on. I'm kind of scared because I'm coming close to like the 90s. I know 69 is still like close to 50, so it's like halfway to 100, but for the longest time I was thinking, lol, why am I doing 00 number, as if for the number scheme, as if I'm gonna have like 100 some pages, but it might actually happen. I don't know. Hope it works out. Yeah, I do too. LOL, Tail says she does both badly. No, she doesn't. She does them both really well. And I really enjoy them. I'm really glad. So, Tail streams, Kingdom Hearts on Sundays. And so I'm like really tempted to go to drive all the way to campus to work on Sunday night so I can catch that stream, because I've never played Kingdom Hearts and I never will, because I don't have the system that you can play it on. So I'm like kind of experiencing it through Tails' stream. But since I won't have internet, I'm gonna have to like, and I hear there's gonna be Winnie the Pooh next week. I'm so angry. Kingdom Hearts has always been one of those games that I kind of wanted to play, but since I didn't have the system for it, I just like kind of resigned myself to never playing. Another one is Persona. Always seemed like a fun game, but again, don't have the system for it. Whoops, I don't like it. I just don't like it. What did I do here? Okay, let me highlight that, expand. Just get rid of this. Maybe if I make it come out a little more. I don't know how shadows work. Dum-de-dum-dum-dum. Hi, Chico! Wow, speak of the devil, I just mentioned you a little while ago, and suddenly you're here. Gotta say, I appreciate your comics even more after I opened the PSDs. They're so freakishly long. So much effort to watch Tails be a dork. Oh, man. Are you gonna be there next week, Nix? I have to say, like, I when you weren't gonna be there, I was a little bit worried because it's like I know how hard it is to keep track of a chat, and I was used to you being there to help read the comments. So I'm like, man, how is Tails gonna be able to like fight and play the game right and still like talk to us? But she did such a good job. There are some streamers when they play, I'm like, they have two sets of eyeballs. There's no way they're like actually playing. They, you know, there's no one could read and do hand-eye coordinated tasks like that. Yeah, yeah. Wait till you have internet on Saturday because Tails said she can switch it. Hmm? What's that? Bronze Leaf has to leave for dinner. See you later, Bronze Leaf. Are you not on the brink of death every month? I bold of you to assume I'm not dead at the end of every month. I perish and spring forth from the ashes like a phoenix, I do. Yeah, no, especially these last few pages that I'm working on, I am really struggling. There are some times when I know exactly what's going to happen, and that is not one of these times. No siree. Just making up yarns as we go along. The image I always project is hiking up your trousers and just running screaming towards the finish line. I was talking to someone today, and they're like, yeah, it's a bad idea to like promise like weekly uploads or monthly uploads, or you know, I'll upload this amount in this amount of time, because you don't owe them anything. And like people start to be you know, like complain or whatever if you miss. But back when I didn't have a set schedule for the Nuzlocke, I uploaded twice a year. And granted, most of it was because I did have school and I had to focus on school. But if I had to be honest with myself, it wasn't like I was working on it throughout the semester and like was only able to finish one episode a year. No, it was me being lazy and not doing anything, and then when summer hit, I would like do everything in like a few weeks and just get it done and post it. And then just me being lazy again. It's like, well, I posted something, I guess I can take it easy now. As soon as I started, like, promising an upload schedule isn't that you have no other choice anymore. It's more like or it doesn't mean like you owe people anything. It's more a promise to yourself. And making it public is just to ask your readers, hey, help me keep track of myself. Help me keep myself accountable to this schedule that I desire. I want to upload once a month. Otherwise, Nothing will get done. And I do like feel a little stressed every month. I feel a little like rushed sometimes to make the deadlines, because it's not a full month. Usually it's less than that because I have to post it early for the patrons. But it's possible, and I always know that if I can't make it, like if something goes wrong, my readers are like really cool people, and they wouldn't, you know, go after me. I'll just explain myself like, hey, I couldn't make it this month, and definitely posting soon, and you know, I've never had any complaints. For anyone who's on the Nuz forums, they're talking about leaving. Nothing concrete yet, but it seems like everyone wants to leave. And I'm like low-key wanting to just panic save all of the comments that are from my thread just in case it gets deleted. I don't think it will. I think the site will still be up. They're just planning to migrate to another one. And I think it's probably a good idea. Taptastic has not been very good to us. But the comments on... the comments that I get on my run are the reason why I keep drawing them. There really is no other... nothing else that I get out of it. I mean, like, now that I have a Patreon, it's a little different. But just getting money isn't enough motivator, you know? You have to really care about what you're working on. And I know this because I have been paid before for actual art projects. And they were not my favorite things to work on. The Nuzlocke I love. I would work on that on my days off. I can't wait for it to be over, but it's because there's this amazing story that I want you guys to read. And I hope you guys don't hate me afterwards, but you know, it's what'll happen will happen. What the game's been played. I can't change the gameplay. I can only hope that however I convey it is satisfying, and that everything that we've gone through so far is justified. And the only way I can know if it works is by reading the comments. And there's so many good comments on the Nuz forums that I've gotten, and I don't want to lose any of them. In the past, when I felt down or can't think of anything to do for the Nuzlocke, I would just read through the comments and remember what people loved about it. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be so sad if I can't go through those again. I'm not really sure how the best way to archive stuff is online, but I think if I just save the HTMLs, it should be okay. That's what I'm hoping, at least. Just one more right there, just to shade that eye in, give it a little more dimension, and I think that's it. And since we are doing a top down, let me grab something like this. Maybe down to here. I don't know. Is that good? Oopsies. I want the opposite. Next exit. What's that? Is that like Netflix? Tails feels you on a spiritual level. Oh man. Might actually have permanent hearing damage now, LMAO. I'm sorry. Did I do something bad? Sometimes I don't know where my mic is. Welcome back, Leonard. And, Leonard, cookies are not dinner. Eat something better. Probably have 2 monitors on top of the eyes. Enjoy your cookie meal. Welcome back, Leo. Alrighty then. Oh, LMAO, I went to the farm to shoot guns on Saturday and the ringing in my ear hasn't died down since. Still that? Woof. But yeah, there is the Linoon and Zigzagoon fam. Just one more edit. I'm going to color this part in, because I imagine that. But while I do this, someone drop a Pokemon in the chat for me, please. And I'm going to roll a dice. And, we'll see what kind of fun little challenge I put myself through this time. Last time I did a palette challenge that didn't, like, work out on stream very well. But I think, in the end, I figured it out. And for anyone who was here last week, let me see if I have it. Where'd it go? What'd I do? What'd I do with it? Here it is. This is how it came out. I decided to go ham on the black, or not black, but this gray-blue, and just added it all over the place, because without it, there was no contrast at all between the pink and the yellow, and everything is just the same value, except for these two, the pink lace and the gray-blue. So, that's how that turned out. This family is done. Let's pull up the Pokemon challenges. And last time I did a Bannet and Mimikyu, and I was thinking it didn't make much sense because all I was doing really was a fusion. I wanted to get rid of it, but after thinking about it for a moment, I realized not every Pokemon can breed with Bannet or Mimikyu. And I keep saying fusion, I actually mean the other thing. What's it called? Variant. So I think I'm going to keep it, because it's less of a variant in which I go to a list of the breedables and pick one, and it's more just a combination, a fusion, I guess, to that specific Pokemon. Breakfast is the same, though. You can't have breakfast for dinner. Actually, you can. I would totally be down for just having cereal and milk for dinner. Ooh. I got a 0, which I believe means 10. Anthro and Gajinka. Interesting. An Anthro or Gajinka Quagsire. I don't think I can do an Anthro for that, because Quagsire already is kind of, uppity, two-legged. Also, hello, I am Tails again, and we're home safely. I'm so glad you're home safely, Tails! Tails! And Nix! You can't really do a woo-woo-woo with a Nix. Nix's name is too harsh for a woo-woo-woo. Midna, no! Put down the gun! Blue chubby guy, yes. Let me see if I can draw a Quagsire real quick. I don't do and Gajinkas very often. Because I'm not very good at them. There are certain schools of Gajinka. One of which is like the monster person, where they kind of have Pokemon parts to them. I've seen a couple that are like just people with Charizard tails, you know, like a person with wings, and that's a valid take. Me personally, from a viewer standpoint, I prefer Gajinkas that don't have those because I feel like it's too much of a telltale sign of what species they are, and I want to work for my Gajinka. I want to kind of have to look and see what kind of Pokemon it is. But the problem comes when I have to make them, and it's a lot harder. Let me think. And then the other reason I'm not good at Gajinkas is I'm just not good at drawing people. I think a Quagsire boy would definitely be smiley. Maybe bald even? I don't know. I give him a big nose. Maybe they have a bit of a... What kind of clothes would a Quagsire wear? Quagsire is rather slick, but it's also tube-like, which makes me think like a sweater? Sounds like it'd be either cute or creepy. Even when things like Snorlax or Charizard. There's an entire red ROM hack where the sprites are replaced by cute Japanese schoolgirls. Is that the Moemon? I've seen it. It's really cute. Also, IDK, if I missed it, but Zero, do you have internet on Saturday? I do. I have an internet on the Saturday, I believe. Unless my father lied to me. He said it starts on Sundays when we lose internet. People are not good at drawing UI. Are you talking to me? Designing a Gajinka for Cindy is killing me. Oh man, it's really fun. It's really fun drawing Gajinkas of actual characters, because then you have this idea of you know, their personality, and you can work that in, whereas just a random Gajinka is like you have to invent a personality and a design. Let's make him fat. I don't know why, but I'm gonna give him a weird haircut. looks kind of Chinese now, but Quagsire has that like purple thing on his back. I still don't know what kind of outfit he would wear. I'm not feeling that collar. Don't know. Quagsire doesn't have many traits to work off of. I'm not feeling any real getting any personalities from it yet. Maybe he's like maybe he's an otaku, because Quagsire, the only thing I remember about Quagsire, apart from that quack sound effect that it made, is that episode in the Johto League where Quagsire started stealing orbs from this town, and they stole like Ash's GS ball, and they had to get it back somehow. I don't remember. What I'm getting at is Quagsire's like round things, and so maybe this is a guy who collects round things. Quagsire's head is Slowpoke's mouth. Don't shatter my world like this. He'd be wearing baggy clothes or something to be in the mud. Oh, maybe he's like a noodler. Maybe he's got some waders on. let's give him some waders. Let's give him some gloves and some waders. He's gone noodling. I don't actually know what waders look like. So this is an approximation of what they would look like in my imagination. My imagination. Gonna have to shrink him even more now. I keep running out of room. stuff those pants in some boots. I don't know about the proportions on this, but this is what I got for you at 12 o'clock at night. In the morning, I mean. Is it night or morning when it's 12 midnight? It's night. It's night. I choose to believe. 12 midnight is night. Yeah. 12 noon is morning. That's how time works. This makes those boots kind of shiny. Make them a little muddy. And there you go. That's what I got for you today. That's all. That's all, folks. Am I allowed to say that? A noodler for a noodler. I'm noodling the noodler now. Noodling is what they call catfishing. When you don't go out with any nets or nothing. You just go out with your bare hands and a pair of waders, and you squelch around in the mud until you grab a catfish by the whiskers and you pull it out. And then y'all go home to the billabong and you cook up that sucker, and the whole family gets together. Have a good old cookout. But there you go. That's a jolly old Quagsire. That's the best I got for you. Sorry, I just keep noodling. I feel like some of this needs to go like that and like that. And Nyx took Noodler to a weird place, lol. Better than anything I have to offer at 12 a.m. Also, I think it's the other way around, lol. Quagsire is a good boy. Can she say that, like, legally? I really want to watch Into the Spider-Verse. I haven't yet. Is there music today? Yes, there is. It might be really soft, and I'm sorry for that. I always have music. But I don't always know what volume it's playing at. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just noodling a little more. You know, there's a company that sells inks called Noodlers. Apparently they make pretty good bulletproof ink for fountain pens. I've always wanted to get fountain pens, but never got around to it. I got one for a friend of mine, but not for myself. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that, actually. But, like I said before, next week, we'll try to still have the stream Monday at 9 to 12. Maybe a little shorter than normal, maybe 9 to 11, depending. But I probably won't be drawing much next week. It'll just be watching me go through. I'll probably read through the comic, episode 69. And then we'll talk about it as I play footage of me actually working on it. So if you're interested in that, come on by. If not, I will see you next month then, because that'll be it for March. And I hope everyone has a great time, the great rest of the night. Get some rest, have your dinner, whatever time it is for you. And I will see you next week. As always, have a good one. Bye-bye. Take care. Keep your nose clean.